Welcome to the 5th episode of Bible Summaries. Today we start in the book of Exodus, Exodus chapter 1 to 20. The book of Exodus is a pivotal part of the Bible that narrates the journey of the Israelites from slavery in Egypt to freedom and their covenant with God at Mount Sinai. Here is an extended summary of Exodus chapter 1 to 20. Exodus chapter 1, the enslavement of the Israelites. The book begins by describing how the descendants of Jacob, Israel, multiplied in Egypt and were eventually enslaved by a new Pharaoh. Fearing their strength, Pharaoh orders the killing of Hebrew male infants, but Moses is saved when his mother places him in a basket on the Nile River. Exodus chapter 2, the birth and early life of Moses. Moses is adopted by Pharaoh's daughter and raised as an Egyptian prince. Later, after witnessing an Egyptian mistreating a Hebrew, he kills the Egyptian and flees to Midian, where he marries Zipporah. Exodus chapter 3, God's call to Moses. God speaks to Moses through a burning bush, calling him to lead the Israelites out of Egypt. God reveals his name as I am who I am, Yahweh, and instructs Moses to confront Pharaoh. Exodus 4 to 6. Moses returned to Egypt and the 10 plagues. Moses and his brother Aaron return to Egypt and request Pharaoh's permission to release the Israelites. Pharaoh refuses, and God sends 10 plagues upon Egypt, including water turning to blood, frogs, gnats, flies, livestock disease, boils, hail, locusts, darkness, and the death of the firstborn. Exodus 7 to 11. More plagues and the Passover. The plagues intensify, with God turning the Nile to blood, bringing frogs, gnats, flies, livestock disease, boils, hail, locusts, and darkness. In the final plague, the death of the firstborn, the Israelites are instructed to mark their doorposts with lamb's blood to protect their own firstborn, leading to the institution of the Passover. Exodus chapter 12. The Passover and departure from Egypt. The Israelites celebrate the first Passover, and the angel of death passes over their homes while taking the firstborn of Egypt. Pharaoh finally relents and allows the Israelites to leave Egypt, and they depart in haste. Exodus 13 to 14. The crossing of the Red Sea. God leads the Israelites through the wilderness with a pillar of cloud by day and a pillar of fire by night. Pharaoh changes his mind and pursues the Israelites, trapping them at the Red Sea. God miraculously parts the sea, allowing the Israelites to cross safely, but the waters return, drowning the Egyptian army. Exodus chapter 15. The Song of Moses and Miriam. Moses and the Israelites sing a song of praise to God for their deliverance and victory over the Egyptians. Miriam, Moses' sister, leads the women in a dance and song of celebration. Exodus 16 to 18. God provides manna and water. The Israelites complain about food and water in the wilderness, and God provides manna from heaven and water from a rock. Moses' father-in-law, Jethro, advises him on leadership and delegation. Exodus 19 to 20. The covenant at Mount Sinai and the 10 Commandments. The Israelites arrive at Mount Sinai, and God establishes a covenant with them, offering his protection and guidance in exchange for their obedience. God delivers the 10 Commandments to Moses on 2 stone tablets, summarizing key ethical and moral principles. The Israelites promise to obey God's commands, and Moses receives additional instructions and laws from God on Mount Sinai. The book of Exodus is a foundational text in the Bible, and these chapters mark a crucial turning point in the history of the Israelites. They highlight God's faithfulness, his intervention on behalf of his people, and the establishment of the Mosaic covenant with its ethical and moral guidelines embodied in the 10 Commandments. Follow and subscribe for Part 6.